Morning Dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, if you're a big Rockford Files fan like I am, this next fella that we have got on, you're going to want to hear about this because he actually got a beautiful tribute car and has been involved with several of the original cars on the TV series, The Rockford Files. Jim Suva, how are you, sir?
I am doing fine. Hello, Georgia.
There you go, man. I guarantee you. Now where are you at? Where are you located at?
Actually, I'm actually in Westchester, Illinois, which is about 12 miles straight west of downtown Chicago.
Okay,
Illinois.
there you go. There you go. Stay out of Chicago, man. That's a bad place.
I've been in Chicago many times just to do deliveries there. So,
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to know
that was
about
a long time ago.
We want to know about the Rockford File. Now, you actually helped restore and represent the car at Barrett Jackson that was on the Rockford Files.
Yes, this car was a 1978 Firebird Formula 400. Friends of mine, Steve Reich and Steve Hoffman from Film Vehicle Services, actually purchased a car from a lady in Dubuque, Iowa, and they had it sent to a gentleman named Michael Flaherty from Customs Design Ltd. He's located in southern Wisconsin, right across the border from Illinois.
Right.
And I had the lady who originally owned the car before them actually had contacted me back in, I think, 2009, went and saw the car, verified that it was actually a screen-used car on the Rockford Files. And what's neat about this car is it actually was purchased by James Garner after the show was taken off the air because of his illnesses. And Universal decided to just stop the show and promptly try to sue Gardner because of breach of contract. But Gardner actually owned this car, owned it for about a year. He sold it to a radio station in North Carolina, in Greensboro. And it was actually used for promotion of the reruns of Rockford Files on a local TV station there. I forgot the call letters.
Right.
But it was actually raffled off. You could win a chance. I have a poster in my basement of the actual poster that was used to promote it with Coke. And what's cool about that is as I know that Georgia is a big NASCAR area.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Petty himself actually pulled the winning ticket for the car.
Wow, that's cool.
And in fact, Richard Petty had to call up the lady, Frances, who actually won the car, and said, "Hey, come down to Circuit City. Your car is waiting for you."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, back to sometimes I just go off on a tangent.
We do the same thing here.
So anyway, my friend Steve Reich, he actually works as a producer for Jay Leno's Garage.
Right.
And so he made arrangements for the car to be shipped by Michael Flaherty to his shop. He works out of his house in another garage area. And I went up in, I think it was in February of 2018.
Right.
And I met with him, and we went over the car. Now, Michael is the one that actually did all the restoration in the car and did a beautiful job.
Right.
And but I went up to show him what was Rockford related that needed to stay on the car.
Mm-hmm.
There was a mic bay that was in the console, which is still there. It has a couple microphone jack on the left front fender underneath, one on the bracket on the right side front fender.
Well, that's because this car was
Yeah,
actually it was the sound car. Am I saying that right? It was the sound car that they used?
Yes. Yeah, this is a sound card that was used to record all sounds of it driving, and Garner himself they really did a cool job because they actually had the car worked out with a tape machine in the back. I forgot the actual name of it,
Right.
but they set cameras all across the hood, and Garner had a switch that he flipped in the console,
Right.
and he would slate the scene, and then he would just take off driving, and he would actually film the whole scene. Then they pull over to the side at the end of the filming of that scene, and then they could play it back to see how it went. And there's holes drilled in the trunk, so wires could be run from the trunk through the inside of the car to the console area. And there's holes in the back of the console, in the bottom of the console. There's holes drilled in the floorboard on the passenger side, where the wires were run from the front areas of the car, and
y'all left all the holes.
All the holes are there.
Wow.
The mic bay's still there. The brackets are still there. One nice thing about that was they replaced the whole interior of the car, and I actually had made a deal with the Steves that any pieces that they replaced on the car, mainly the interior pieces, I have in my basement.
Oh man, you're with me. I'm sure. I don't know if your wife's like mine. She's like, please don't drag anything else home.
If you saw his yard, you'd understand why she says that, too.
Yeah, you kind of know Jay Leno. I'm like the Jay Leno of the rednecks because I got a bunch of junk cars sitting on blocks, but, it's just a smaller version. So now, when you went to Barrett Jackson with this thing, which, I mean, there's no way I could possibly sell it. I don't care what. But anyway, what did this car actually bring at Barrett Jackson?
It actually sold for $105,000.
Wow.
Was the final bid, and it was actually... with buyer's premium, the buyer actually paid $115,000 for the car.
So now, where is it at now?
It's actually in Southern California. The actual owner, I had put together a book that I left in the trunk with my business card because I have my blog.
Right.
And I said, whoever gets the car, hopefully they'll contact me so I can keep track of where all these Rockford cars are. There's not that many out there, and it turns out the owner reached out to me, and I actually met the owner before.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we have a car show that I'm a chairman of called the Indian Uprising.
Right.
It's our 30th year this year. In August, we're going to be doing a show in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And about 3 years ago, he came to our show in St. Charles, and we talked about the Rockford File car. He was looking at my card and everything, and he basically... it's just so cool. He basically just sent me an email and said, "Hey, we already met." And then we talked on the phone, and he actually came out to the house, and I showed him the pieces I still have of his car, the original car. And he was very happy that I saved them. They didn't get thrown out or anything. And so hopefully he doesn't want to be known. He doesn't want people to know who he is. Eventually he's going to throw the car out there and at car shows and stuff, probably in Southern California, so people will be able to see it.
Well, I'm all for that. Well, before we go, because we don't got much time, but anyway, you've got a blog that you've actually interviewed a lot of different people from the Rockford Files. Tell us about that, where people can follow that.
Okay, it's at jimsuva.typepad.com. I've had some interviews with people like Lloyd and Clark, Juanita Bartlett, Mike Horowitz, people that worked on the show. I never met Garner, but everybody that I talked to that worked on the show and did interviews with all loved him. He said he was the greatest guy in the world and a pleasure to work with and a real friend. And so if you go there, you'll see not only stories about Rockford, but some other cars that I've done stories on, star cars. And it's actually, I got to give a plug real quick. We are going to have the car up in Iola, Wisconsin at the Iola Car Show in the beginning of July.
Right.
We are on a special display inside the building for they're doing 70s rerun.
Oh,
and
that's
so
cool.
If anybody's up there, please come by, stop by. We'll talk Rockford, and you can check out my car and some of the stuff that I have that I'll bring along that's Rockford related.
And the cookie jar. He's got on his blog how you can make the famous cookie jar where he kept his gun. And I'm fixing to start. I've been reading your blog on that. I'm fixing to build my own cookie jar.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You know, that's funny you talk about Rockford, though, right quick before we go. We actually had Angel Martin. Of course, you know Stuart on
Margolian.
Margolian for an interview, and he was talking about Rock. Of course, he knew Rockford, and they was wanting Rockford to do some kind of a show. I don't remember what it was, and James Garner didn't want to do it. And he said, the only way I'll do it if you'll give Stewart a record deal, because Stewart was involved in music. And that's the way Stewart got his record deal. He said, man, what kind of friend is that to actually make the company give him a record deal? So that's the kind of guy that James Garner was. He was thinking about somebody else instead of himself. And but yeah, and I love this stuff that you've got. And we need to get you back on because you're heavily involved with the Rockford Files stuff. And but yeah, I'd like to come up there and check it out. If I come up, can I stay at your house? I'm from the South. We do that down here.
I would love to have you come up. First of all, you're welcome to come by anytime. We have a full house because I have 3 granddaughters, a son, and a stepdaughter that all live with us. So our house is pretty booked right now.
So that's a no, Stephen. That's a no.
Just let me down easy, baby. Let me down easy.
Yeah, but I gave you a reason.
There you go.
Smart choice. Smart choice.
Oh,
on your
Lord
part.
of mercy. But anyway, y'all go check out Jim Suva at .type, and that's TYPE pad.com. He's got the blog. A lot of stuff going on with that. Keep up with him on this. And, man, I sure do appreciate your time. So much more I want to talk to you about, but like I said, we run out of time on live radio. But, I might make a road trip and come up there. I'd like to come to that show. I think that'd be cool.
You can drive the,
and
the
if you ever come
bandwagon.
to Chicago, you're always welcome. I kind of have my little miniature Rockford Museum in my basement, and you can see pictures of it, some of the stuff on my blog. But you're always welcome. Hey, I thank you for having me on your show. Again, anytime you guys want to call, I am always welcome. You're always welcome to give me a call. I'd love to talk to more about Rockford.
Hey, man, I appreciate you very much. You take care.
You too.
Thank you for listening. This is Stephen Phillips, host of The Morning Dish. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have a lot more interviews out there to listen to. Plus, you can listen online every morning at WJULradio.com or Lake 97.7 WJUL. And give us a like on our Facebook page, The Morning Dish.